Hey, yeah, what's up? This Disciple Marshall Occurrence Rain back up in this anti-Illuminati all day, anti-telepathy all day, anti-gangstalker all day, anti-Satan all day, anti-witchcraft all day, anti-witch all day, anti-warlock all day, yeah. So this video basically is going to be about Donald Trump not being able to be the next president because he will not get the electoral vote. Donald Trump would not be the next president because he would not get the electoral vote. Okay, so basically that's what it is. Okay, I don't care how much his bushwhack community is behind him. I don't care how much these unsophisticated, unruly people that were really bitter against Barack Obama. I don't, if that's all it is. What you tell me where his movement came from, where all these people that came out the woodwork supporting Donald Trump. Remember, he was this fake, fraudulent business fat cat that most big city people relate to, right? So how he got all these country white people then? He's considered a Yankee to them. So why is all these bushwhack community people supporting him? Because these are the people, in my opinion, many of them are the people that was disgruntled, that was bitter that Barack Obama was in office as a black man. Look at his supporters. I'm talking about the hardcore base. I'm talking about the hardcore foundation. And I'm not saying this is factual, but it's food for thought. Where did these people come from? Most of these people are not even sophisticated as far as politics. So why is they so involved in politics all of a sudden? Oh, because he says make America great again. It ain't got nothing to do with that. If anything concerning that term, it has to do with the fact that it's a call to go back to times where all people were submitted to white authority. Because look at the people that look. I mean, you might think you know what it means, but how's the community taking this slogan? Make America great again, like it used to be. That's what his Trump supporters are saying. Like it used to be. Like it used to be. And you know what that means? Where white authorities were over you. That's what it means. And that's right after the Barack Obama presidency. Put two and two together. You got a Barack Obama presidency, and now you got this whole people coming out the woodwork behind "Make America Great Again," saying take us back before the times of Obama, basically, which means where non-whites were submitted to white people. And I'm just saying it's food for thought. I'm not trying to make that doctrine. It's just something to ponder, right? But what we do know is that it's impossible for him to get that electoral vote. It's impossible because he has 30 counts of business fraud. He has an indictment right now. How is he gonna get the White House again? For people that don't know about politics, it doesn't matter how many rappers support him. It doesn't matter how much of the community support him. It doesn't matter how many people rally behind him in this country. These sophisticated electoral college individuals are going to look at just last year, this man was being indicted. Just last year, this man was caught on 30 counts of business fraud. That's what they're looking at. And anybody that knows politics know that there's no way in the world that this man is going to get these electoral votes. He cannot win if he does not get these electoral votes, and he's not going to get them based on 30 counts of business fraud. It's not going to happen. And you can get mad. You can try to curse me. You can try to do whatever you want. See, the beautiful thing is with all your witchcraft and all your hate, Listen, it's not going to change that reality. That's why I love reality. Because reality triumphs over all that foolishness. I don't care what you do. You can try to throw hexes and curses, and you can be hateful. You can do whatever. You can manipulate. You can try to do Jedi mind tricks. You can run around and do psychological war games. And when you get done doing that, you're gonna have to face the facts and face the music that Donald Trump is done. You're gonna have to take all that MAGA paraphernalia and put it up in the basement. Put it down in the basement and put it up in the attic. Whatever you have storage. Wherever you have storage, take all your MAGA paraphernalia, take all your MAGA hats, all your MAGA scarves, your MAGA underwear. I'm pretty sure some of these cornballs got MAGA underwear. Some of these women got MAGA underwear. Take all your MAGA underwear and hats and all of that, right? And your kids' MAGA stuff too, and put it all in one box and put it in the attic. Go put it in your storage if you got one. If you got a storage unit, that's where it needs to go. Okay? Because there's no way in the world you can sit up and tell me, if you're sophisticated in thought and understanding and experience of the electoral process, that you can tell me that he's going to get the electoral votes. It's no way in the world. So here's what's going to happen. Next year, the circus is going to start. Okay? You're going to have all these people that's going through the motions, all these people that's going through all these feelings and all that, and licking their wounds and having this woe is me mentality, just a cult around Trump, and instead of looking at how can we change this country? Because at the end of the day, when you got a man that's indicted and you got 30 counts of business fraud that he's facing, if you really love this country and that's what it really is, then you need to move on. You need to move on. This man got 30 counts of business fraud. He's he's facing indictment. He's the first president that faced indictment. You still jocking him? You still on him? Nah, you tell the truth. Shame the devil. Really, you're a Donald Trump cult. That's what you are. You're not trying to make America great again, because you would have moved on by now. If that's what kind of following you was, you just be honest. You just found something to be a part of. Let's keep it 100. You just found a movement to be a part of that was American, and now this movement itself has sentimental value to you, and there's nostalgia with it too, because it was before COVID-19. You had all those MAGA hats before COVID, and so really it's just a form of nostalgia and sentimental value, this movement, and you got to move on from that. Now that you know that this man has 30 counts of business fraud, right? And he's being indicted. It's time to move on, man. But you're not going to do that, are you? Because, it's really not about making America great again. You stuck on a person that, you just stuck on this person. You know what I'm saying? And now it's just like, it's more this game to get this person in there. It's more of a sport for you, isn't it? Let's be 100. For all the Trump supporters, it's more of a sport. Just like you have these fanatics for all these basketball teams and football teams. You're just another fanatic group that wants Trump to win. That's what it is. And I'm showing you how now he can't win. I'm showing you this. It's no way anybody that knows politics, by now, much as you follow Trump, you should know politics. You should know the whole process. And anybody that does know, it's no way in the world facing the first president that's facing indictment in all of American history. In all of American history now, that's just too bad of a stain against a president for him to be reelected. I'm sorry to tell you. No one's taking a chance. It's too much heartache and pain that came with having that man in there. If they just not going to take that chance. They just not. You don't know. We don't know what would happen. You don't know what would happen if that man's in office. Who knows? The possibilities are endless. The negative possibilities are endless. We do not know what will happen. What we do know is the American community has had enough heartache with this guy. Okay? Forget your feelings. The American community, as a collective whole, has had enough of this character called Donald Trump. Okay? That's what it is. Okay? Keep in mind, most of the community is ignorant. Most of you are ignorant to all his bushwhack supporters. You're ignorant to the fact that, okay, under his administration, the last child marriage law was passed. Under Donald Trump's administration. Now, big as his mouth is, and he's always talking to you as his supporters at his rallies, how come Donald Trump, big as his mouth is, we all can agree on that. Big as his mouth is, he don't talk about child marriage laws where it allows adults in America to marry children at any age of children? Yeah, you didn't know that, did you? That law was passed July 1st, 2019 under the Donald Trump administration. Okay. I don't see how you could support him after that. Just that information alone. How you gonna make America great again when he can't even see what's happening when he's in the White House? How's he gonna make America great again when he doesn't know his head is too old to turn and see child marriage laws being passed under his administration? You know how old people head turn? It take them a long time to turn their head north. Be like this. Take them a long time to turn their head. That's how Donald Trump was, sitting in some lazy boy recliner in the White House while in July, in the middle of the summer in 2019, with these child marriage laws being passed, and he's like a old man in a lazy boy recliner with a Coca-Cola sitting back, reared back. Don't know that child marriage laws is being passed while he's in the White House. Okay, and we didn't hear him say nothing about this, did we? See, this is why, for his supporters, listen, that ain't fake news, buddy. Yeah, that part right there. That's not fake news. You can go look that up right now, man. For all his supporters talking about fake news. Guess what, man? I found information that is not fake news. Okay? Child marriage on his clock, on his watch. It's a mystery why, big as his mouth is, he didn't talk about it. It's a mystery. While he's always talking about the woes of all the things that's going on around him. He's always talking about the woes of all the things that he's facing. He's always talking about the woes of White House. He's always talking about the woes concerning the Democrats. But he doesn't talk about the woe of the child marriage law passed July 1st, 2019 when he was in the White House. Ain't talking about that woe, are you? Ow. See, what you Trump supporters need to do, you know what you need to do? You need to go back to your campfires and go fishing, okay? And get over it. It's over. Go fishing. I'm pretty sure the Trump supporters do fish. It's a bunch of unsophisticated bushwhacks for the most part. I'm pretty sure you fish, don't you? Take your little radio. You can listen to Trump. You can lick your wounds down there. Listen to Trump radio. I'm pretty sure there's some Trump radio you can find. Put your Trump radio on. Put your MAGA radio on, and go fishing around the campfire. Go fishing. Put some and catch some fish and put them on the campfire. Okay. Put your MAGA stuff in the attic. Okay, or in the basement, or in storage, or in the storage unit. In storage barrels. Put your MAGA stuff in storage barrels. Okay? There's no way in the world you finna sit up and tell me this man is going to be reelected. Like I said, anybody that know the election, the electoral process, the election process, the voting process, all of that, right? Any fool that's just an amateur in politics knows that the electoral votes is everything. Anybody who's followed it all the way through was waiting for those electoral votes, right or wrong. If you followed any election from the beginning to the end, you was waiting for the electoral votes. And that determined everything. And you think, listen, I don't care how bad America wants to win. In all these situations, they not finna put Donald Trump back in the White House. Because that's gonna be considered an L. That's gonna be considered taking a loss. Putting him in the White House, that's too unpredictable. It's too much, it's too risky, man. It's too risky. That's why I'm trying to show you, before you spin your wheels and become depressed and probably suicidal and probably get hooked on some new drug, trying to put your hair down, trying to get in some new lane. And so I'm pretty sure last night a lot of people did some drugs for the first time. Oh, you don't think some of them Trump supporters did cocaine for the first time? Come on, man. You know how they act out. You know how they act out. They probably hung over now. Some of them just now getting up from being hung over last night, drinking themselves to a stupor. Oh, I'm wrong about it. You know I'm right about it. Half of them drunk, hung over right now. Hey, come on, man. You know it's over. That's too much. Listen, that's too much of a flaw in your portfolio as a president to be the first president indicted in all of American history. It's not going to happen, man. It's not going to happen. That's what I'm trying to show you. It's not going to happen. Okay? So for Christians, I don't know any Christian that would vote for someone like that. I mean, where's your discernment? Where's your eyes for integrity? If you're a real Christian, where's your discernment, eyes for integrity, and ears for to hear what's going on? For real, there's no way in the world this man is going to get reelected based on the Electoral College. That's the part. He can have 1 million people behind him. I'm pretty sure he is. They're going to feel sympathy for him. He's going to have a lot of sympathetic people. But that's not going to be sufficient when it comes to the Electoral College process. It's not going to be sufficient. I'm telling you right now. Anybody that knows politics knows this. It's no way in the world. It's no way in the world. So this is the celebration. Because this man was, for 2 reasons. This is why people don't, I'm going to show you the real reasons why intelligent people don't like Donald Trump. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about why the real intelligent people do not like Donald Trump. Here's the foundational reasons. Okay, first of all, like I said, you got child marriage in America. You got child marriage in America, man. Okay? The last child marriage law was passed under Donald Trump's administration. Okay? That's clear enough for you? So do you agree, do the Trump supporters agree this is a reason, would this be sufficient enough of a reason? Whether he passed the laws or not. Nah, keep it 100. Be a grown man or be a grown woman. Okay? Yes or no question. I don't need a book on it. I don't need a novel. I don't need you to write a spicy romantic Donald Trump novel on your feelings. Okay, it's a yes or no question. Is it legit? Is it a legitimate situation of true dislike of a person that comes and goes when child marriage was passed under his administration? Is it legitimate? Is that legit for me to not like him? For me to not feel that he should be the president? Isn't it legit? Whether he had something to do with the process or not, is it legit? So you telling me even when it comes to even when it comes to child marriage, you telling me You still will support him. Even when it comes to child marriage being passed under his administration, you feel he's competent enough for you to support him. That's not competent. Okay, whether he passed it or not, he lacks competency with just overseeing laws, okay, overseeing the country. This person is an overseer in the country. Child marriage laws was passed in his administration. Who else is supposed to see it? Who else is supposed to see it? You and me? The Trump supporters supposed to see it? Who's supposed to see this? He's supposed to see this. His administration's supposed to see this. How come they didn't see it then? Okay, that's number one. Number two, the House Select Subcommittee did a 46-page report on Donald Trump's administration handling COVID. Yeah, you ain't gonna like this. This is one of the most underrated investigations, I would say, almost in all of U.S. history. Almost, if not the most underrated investigation in U.S. history. The House Select Subcommittee, which is qualified to investigate the likes of Donald Trump, which is qualified, not fake news people, not anchormen on a news channel. These are qualified people that are qualified to, they're qualified to investigate the likes of administrations, the likes of White House administrations, the likes of White House figures, and the president himself. They're qualified to investigate presidents. They're qualified to investigate presidents. So let me stop right there. They're not, because they're qualified, we know that they come with integrity. It's a given. Okay, you got people that's investigating the president, for crying out loud. They're investigating the administration. They can investigate any administration. You think they're gonna waste their integrity on Donald Trump? Do you think they biased and going against Donald Trump like these other people that you talking about going against Donald Trump? You think they're gonna do that? Now you're being paranoid. The truth is, most of these Trump supporters are being paranoid. Well, you think everyone has these other motives. You think everybody is fake news. You think, and this man is a human being. Let's keep that 100. Is Donald Trump a human being? One right or yes or no? Correct or incorrect? Okay, so he's subject to imperfections like the rest of us, right? In your eyes, he can do no wrong. Like your little baby that you're growing up. Like your little favorite child. They can do no wrong. Okay? Listen, man. Listen. The House Select Subcommittee did an investigation on Donald Trump. These people are qualified, probably overqualified, to investigate presidents. You think they're gonna waste their integrity with a coming and going president? And I'm just being 100 about it. You think they're gonna waste their integrity on the likes of Donald Trump? Come on, man. No, listen, he hung himself. Literally, look at the situation. Most wise men that did not like him will still consider with discretion that he's going to do it to himself, and he did. And he did. And I'm pretty sure that's with the information they had on him already, and the speed of light he was going in destruction mode. They already considered that that's a nightmare. That's destruction on wheels. It's just a matter of time. In other words, they wouldn't waste their integrity on Donald Trump when he's already hanging himself. That's how other people look at it outside yourself. Other people looking at it like, this man is already destroying himself. Why should I manipulate? I don't have to. Okay? I gotta say all that before I get into what they investigated and what they concluded. They're not going to waste their integrity on the likes of Donald Trump. He's already destroyed himself. Why would you do that? That's a train wreck in itself. I know you couldn't see it because you biased. But it's a train wreck in itself, man. You think, listen. What you need to learn is stop being a child. Face the facts. You acting like that little kid on Christmas Story, the one that got shot with the BB gun. That's you. You need, listen, the one that got his mouth washed out with soap, that's you, man. You like one of those, you like the kid from the Christmas Story. Walking around with this Charlie Brown complex. Like somebody's always picking on you. Okay? Nobody's obsessed with Trump like you are. Okay? You're the fan. We're not. You're the fanatic. We're not. Okay? So someone's in a sober perspective looking at this guy, not based on hating him or nothing like that. Just looking with a sober mind at a train wreck. Okay? And you might have been watching people that you think like to pick on them and everything, but then there's a section of people that just state the facts in a sober-like way. The most solid thing is child marriage was passed under his administration. I don't care who did it. I don't care if it was state level laws. I don't care what it was. The bottom line is this. He said nothing about it to you. He said nothing about it. He said nothing about it to his supporters. And it's no way you can sit up and tell me, there's a valid excuse for that. It's no valid excuse. It's no valid excuse. He came and went. He talks about everything from Rosie O'Donnell to LeBron James. He talks about everything. But he doesn't have the time to talk about child marriage laws passed under his administration. That's a mystery. That's a mystery can. Big as his mouth is. He doesn't take the time to talk about child marriage passed under his administration while he was in the White House. That's the first foundational reason why he's incompetent, because he can't see what's going on around him. Either way it goes, whether he knew or I'm pretty sure he knew. How Donald Trump didn't know? How Donald Trump didn't know child marriage laws were passed under his administration? You telling me the president didn't know? Everybody else knew. You're insulting my intelligence. That's what you're doing. There's no way in the world you can tell me this man did not know that child marriage laws was passed while he was in the White House. He didn't know about it. So you're telling me he totally didn't know, and he's the president. Man, come on, stop playing. Stop playing, man. Then secondly, back to the House, back to what I was talking about, the House Select Subcommittee. This is a committee that investigated Donald Trump. And they concluded that Donald Trump had an intentional slow response to COVID for political points. They did a 46-page report on this man. Did any of you Trump supporters ask to see that information? You didn't ask to see the 46 pages, right? This is one of the most underrated investigations in my opinion, most of U.S. history. Most investigations. This is one of the most underrated. Your whole American community as a whole has really underrated an investigation that was held by people that are qualified to investigate the White House, that are qualified to investigate the president. And these people that are qualified to investigate the president, to investigate administrations, concluded with a 46-page report that Donald Trump had an intentional slow response to COVID-19. They said it. I didn't say it. And these are people that's qualified to investigate. This is one of the most underrated investigations of all time. I don't know why y'all ain't talking about this. They investigated him and found out the House Select Subcommittee. Go look it up. They investigated him. It was a 46-page report, and they concluded that Donald Trump intentionally basically had a slow response to COVID, an intentional. So why would he have an intentional slow response to COVID? I'm glad you asked. Because he thought it would get out of he wanted it to get out of control. He wanted to create a perfect storm and then come in and fix it, and you would sing his praises and put him back in the White House. Now I remind you, this is a man that is a businessman, so to speak. He got 30 counts of business fraud. So he thinks in a business sense. He looked at COVID-19 as a business opportunity. This is how this man thinks. You know how you think. You don't know how you're not paying attention to how he thinks. He thinks like a person that is an opportunist. He thinks like an opportunist. And he made this an opportunity to get reelected, but it backfired. He tried to make COVID-19 an opportunity, like a business opportunity, as an opportunist that he is, to get reelected. Okay? So you would say, well, how's that possible? Because he had an intentional slow response, like the House Select Subcommittee said. He had an intentional slow response, as it says, for political points. He had the intentional. So how can you get political points out of an intentional slow response? I'm glad you asked. Because that's what they said in their exact words. Donald Trump, his administration, had an intentional slow response to COVID for political points. How you get political points out of a slow and an intentional now, slow response to COVID-19? How in the world are you going to get political points out of that? Because he thought it was the equivalent of swine flu, because no one knew what COVID was going to be, including him. He didn't know what it was going to be. He didn't know how bad it was going to be. But he thought it would be bad enough, like the swine flu or something like that, everybody running around coughing or something like that. And he would come in. He came in as a businessman, an opportunist, thinking he would come in and approach it like this opportunist, let it get out of control, and then come in and fix it, and you would reelect him. That explains the political points. The political points coming after he fixed COVID. Boom, ow. So the political points will be given after he fixed COVID. But in order for him to fix it in this context, and you to reelect him, it had to be a little big. It had to get out of control and spread a little bit. That's why he had an intentional slow response to it. So it could get big a little bit and get out of control, but he didn't know what it would be, and he thought he would come in and fix it, and it didn't work out. It didn't work out. It spread and it got out of control and it backfired. That means Donald Trump, as a man, has American blood all over his hand, because that intentional response, that intentional slow response to COVID is the reason why it's flared up everywhere now and it's out of control. Whatever it would have did, it wouldn't have been this many deaths. Let's agree that somebody died based on his intentional slow response to COVID. Let's admit that. We don't know how many casualties we would have had. We don't know how many deaths you would have had as a community. But we do know if he had an intentional slow response to COVID, it's for that reason somebody died from COVID-19. Maybe not all the cases, but some of the cases, which means he has someone's blood on his hands. These are the two reasons intelligent people do not support Donald Trump. Those are the two reasons. Just so you know. Just so you know. Just so you know. Okay? That's my reasons. Okay? Now, What's going to keep him out the White House are these new situations. $30 counts of business fraud. You can't trust somebody like that. You fraudulent 30. You got 30 counts of fraudulence. Wow. Why would I trust you with the business of the White House and you got 30 business? You got 30 counts of business fraud. Why would I count you with the business of politics? You got 30 counts of business fraud. Why would I trust you with the business of the White House? I'm not going to trust you with that business. When you got 30 business counts, you got 30 counts of business fraud. Why am I going to trust you with the business of the White House? Yeah, you out of business, buddy. You out of business. You got 30 counts of business fraud. See, all this business stuff and all these brand stuff is fading anyway. Don't you see that? Yeah, it's becoming a new time, ain't it? No, do anybody care about this brand anymore? If Donald Trump was a brand, anybody care about it? Would you support a brand that got 30 counts of business fraud? Would you support a brand that's being indicted as the first president being indicted? You would support a brand like that? It's not going to happen, man. At least, I'm going to tell you something. At least the electoral voting, the electoral college, those officials see it my way. They do. It's no way in the world as a brand that Donald Trump is going to be reelected when his brand has 30 counts of business fraud. And he's the first, this brand is the first president of being indicted in all of American history. Man, come on. Ain't no way in the world, bro. Not to mention, most of the country is not doing it based on this. It's too much heartache. So here's what's going to happen. Here's what's going to happen. Let's keep in mind he didn't really do anything while he was the president too. Ow. Oh, what did he do that's life-changing? Ow. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. They're going to look for new blood. That's what they're going to do. They're going to look for new blood. They're going to look for new, maybe an all-female administration. They're not going to take a chance on all these senators that have all these flaws in our potential liabilities. They're not going to do it. They're not going to take a chance on none of these people. Think about it, would you? Everybody's burnt out on Trump. Let's keep that in mind. Everybody's burnt out on him. That's why he's not going to get reelected. They're burnt out on Trump. They're not, and they're burnt out on bad politics too. The American community is burnt out on bad politics. Period. This guy has done it to the point where in 4 years, everybody's burnt out on it. Everybody. You think he's going to get back in there based on that? And everybody burnt out on him and bad politics? Man, come on, you can't be serious. Ow. I'm going to tell you what they're going to do. This is what they're going to do. They're going to go for new blood. That's what they're going to do. Fresh blood. And probably some females. You don't have anybody promising. The governor or the mayor, I think the governor, what's his name? Ron DeSantis. He's not getting it. Nobody's taking no chance on a Floridian. I'm sorry to tell you. Many Floridians don't know how the rest of the world see them. Many people in America feel you're bushwhack and you're crazy. And you're kind of racist. They're not, based on that kind of perspective of that many Americans hold. Listen, they ain't taking no chance on no Floridian. They ain't taking no chance on no Floridian president, man. No way. That's not going to happen, bro. Nobody trusts that, man. Because he might be influenced by some of these racists and crazy people. and unsophisticated bushwhack people that pull us into another war, an unwanted war, like we doing now. And Donald Trump talking about he gonna fight Joe Biden. No one cares about that. Listen, nobody cares that you do that. He's not the problem. You are the problem. He's the problem and you the problem. And many others are the problem. Anybody that we really know is the problem. This is why they're gonna go after fresh blood. This is why. I think they're gonna take a chance. I'm not saying this is a prophecy. I just think they're gonna take a chance on some fresh females that's new in politics. That's what they're gonna do. Because everybody's burnt out on politics. Everybody's burnt out on the Donald Trump administration. They burnt out on it. They can't stomach another fraudulent, bugged out administration. They cannot weather another bugged out, burnt, crazy administration. They burnt out. Can't you see that? Donald Trump is washed up as far as politics. He should have never got in it in the first place. And like I said, he ain't do nothing worthwhile. What did he do? Talking about make America great again. Wasn't he saying that in the beginning? Or was it the second time around? Second time around. You tell me when he started talking about make America great again. You the supporter. You should know. I don't follow him enough to know. But I think he was saying it as soon as he came into trying to run for the White House, right? I think all of that MAGA stuff he started it from the beginning, right? Okay, so what did he do with the first 4 years? And what is he going to do with the next 4 years that's going to be so life-changing? You should be coming in there doing something. You're talking about making America great again. You're the one saying it. It would be one thing if you was a president and you wasn't talking like that. You was kind of low-key like Joe Biden is. He's doing nothing. No one expects him to do nothing. He's not saying he was going to do nothing. He didn't say he was going to make America great again, but you did say it. And what did you do with the first 4 years? You made America great again? You can't be serious. So in 4 years, he's going to make America great again. That's a joke, man. In 4 years, he's going to make America great again. Right now. From 2024, in 2024, he's going to make America great again. In 4 years. Man, you can't be serious. He ain't telling you no plans. Look at it for what it is. If it was me and I was facing all of that, I would be talking about this not a MAGA hat, a MAGA plan. Not a MAGA hat, a mega plan. Where's your mega plan? No plan, right? No. Ain't talking about nothing. What is he talking about? What's the solutions? What's the solutions that he really have? That's life-changing. What are the life-changing principle or solutions that Donald Trump is coming with? What are the life-changing plans? You don't know. You can't call it, can you? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. He's sitting up there yapping, sitting up there in rallies. Where's the solutions? For all the people that attend his rallies, where are the solutions? Where's the solutions? Huh? Where are the solutions? You can't call it, can you? It's just a bunch of vague gibberish, right? Like a hamster just... You know how the hamsters nibble? It's like he's nibbling at the microphone, ain't it? Hamsters don't talk, but you get my point. He has no solutions. Where's the solutions? Huh? I'm just asking real questions. I'm asking all the right questions. Where's the solutions? Point to me what he's going to do. What he's saying he's going to do for the country. What he's saying he's going to do actually to make America great again. You got his movement has to be the most highest level of morons. Because you follow a person that said, make America great again, but you can't show me no solutions. He got a whole movement talking about make America great again. Where's point out the solutions? I'm asking real questions. You acting like I'm badgering Donald Trump. I came to you with information. I told you about child marriage under his administration. I showed you how the House Select Subcommittee did a 46-page report on this man. People are qualified to investigate the president. And they concluded that he had an intentional slow response to COVID, meaning he got blood on his hands. I ain't said nothing. Listen, I haven't badgered him. I'm not badgering him. I'm not harassing him. I'm not assassinating his character. This is not defamation. I'm showing you facts. I'm showing you facts. The child marriage law was passed under his administration, whether you like it or not. How is that defamation? Man, stop playing with me, man. And you can't show me no solutions. Where's the solutions? Where can you write down Donald Trump's solutions for America? If you can't do that, see, people that listen to my messages, I have real solutions. You do a crime, you push people on trains, all these people, these weed smoking gangbangers that's going around shooting people. Guess what I'm doing? I'm giving you 20 years in prison with no chance of parole. Boom, ow. You can write that down that says Disciple Marcello Kearns has a real plan. Where's the real plan that Donald Trump has? I'm giving you 20 years. I don't care what white people say, black people say. I don't care what nobody say. Listen, everybody's biased to this situation anyway. All this black on black crime, everybody's biased about it because everybody that's black scared to talk about it because you scared people gonna look at you as a house Negro, or you somebody that is an Uncle Tom in Uncle Tom's cabin. Yeah, I know all about that. I know all about what you think. And I don't care. Because at the end of the day, all these kids are being killed out here and you're biased about it. All you're saying is do better. Now, when the white man kill you and the police kill you, you hold rallies. It's happening every day in the hood. And you know what I would do? If you do a senseless killing and kids are getting killed, I'm putting you in jail for 20 years with no chance of parole. And I guarantee you, with that level of punishment, you will clean up America overnight. America will be cleaned up overnight. You think people going to jail for 20 years? The reason why America has crime problems, because you have not adapted the crime punishment system to the times that we live in now. Listen, man, you should, if you can shoot somebody and get less than 10 years, this ain't gonna change. This is not gonna change. You give somebody 20 years with no chance of parole, I guarantee you everything will change. Overnight, the ghettos will find out this information, and I guarantee you it'll be a silent night, a beautiful night. It'll be a silent night, beautiful night, buddy. I tell you that. You'll be able to look at the street lights and look at it from a whole different angle. Whoa, it's so peaceful out here. You go put your beach chair out in the front yard. You would put your beach chair out in the front yard, buddy. But long as you have, I'm not playing. Because you tell me what's the other solutions. They're doing crimes at the speed of light. How are you going to change it? 20 years, no chance of parole. Not 5 years, not 10 years. Listen, man, people go do 10 years, do about 10 years. For a good crime, some murders that they really want to do, they'll do about 10 years. They'll do that. Not 20. Hey, nobody's doing 20, buddy. No way. Unless they just throwing their life away and they suicidal. But for the rest of us who are not, ain't nobody doing no crime. Ain't nobody killing nobody and getting 20 years. That's how you clean up the world. You give some more severe punishment. And the reason why you as an American community hasn't done it, want me to tell you why you haven't done it? Because you so scared of black people using the race card, you so scared of Americans talking about is profiling black people. Well, I ain't profiling nobody. I'm talking about the facts. The facts that they're killing and gangbanging, and something needs to be done about it, which is more severe punishment. How's that profiling? I'm talking about the facts and telling you about the solutions. I'm telling you about the problems and telling you about the solutions. How's that profiling? That's what I'm saying. People are so sensitive, but not sensitive to the crimes. Oh boy, that's good. That's a 7 hour. Yeah, you sensitive to you sensitive to when we start talking like this, but you're not sensitive to people getting their head blowed off, children getting their heads blowed off. Yeah, you ain't sensitive about that. Well, you ain't saying nothing. We don't see you rallying, do we? But you rally when it comes to the police with one isolated killing. We see you rallying all the time concerning that. But when a kid gets their head blowed off, we don't see you rally, do we? So you're really not about protecting black lives, are you? I mean, I'm keeping it 100. You talking about keeping it 100? I'm keeping it 100. And this is the only way it's going to change. All that 5 years here and chance of parole. And then, okay, you give somebody 10, 15 years, but they up for parole in what, 5? So basically in all, they only did 5 years. Boom, out. Let's look at it for what it is. When you have a chance of parole and you actually get it, how much time did you do? How much time did you do for what you did? That's what we talk about. Yeah. Because in all actuality, technically speaking, you only did like 5 years for horrendous murders. That's the truth. We don't care about no good behavior. We care about the behavior that initially got you here. We don't care nothing about you being on good behavior. You're on good behavior, so you're up for parole. We don't care nothing about that. We want you to pay for your initial behavior that got you here, which is 20 years. If you don't listen, if you as a community don't do this, your community is gonna look like a circus. I'm telling you, and especially turning next year with all this stuff that's going on and the stuff that's brewing with Donald Trump, it's gonna look like a circus, man. And the only way you're gonna get it, the only way you're gonna get this done is if you you first stop worrying about what black people gonna think. Nah, because black people are doing the most shootings and all this gangbanging and stuff. I gotta call it like it is. Like I've said before, I'm not racist, I'm Pacific. I'm not racist, I'm Pacific. If it's you pacifically doing it, then why should I address somebody else? Why should I address someone else if you're the one specifically doing it? Make it make sense. You the one blowing kids' head off. Why am I gonna talk about Asian people doing it? Make it make sense. Why am I gonna talk about Indian people doing it? They sitting around eating Indian cookies. They not blowing kids' head off. They handing Indian cookies to Indian kids. You blowing kids' heads off. You're doing it the most. I'm being Pacific, not racist. That's Pacific, buddy. That's Pacific. Whether you like it or not, it's the facts. Specifically about you. And people got to stop worrying about what people think and all this stuff and all of this and all of that. Nah, listen, man. Listen. Unfortunately, there has been racism in the country. Unfortunately, also, you are the biggest problem as far as murders and killings and shootings. Those are two unfortunate situations. But guess what we're going to have to do? We're going to have to adjust to the latter. We're going to have to adjust to the latter, which means all these reckless killings and all this stuff that's going on, whether you think it's racism or not, based on this specifically being you, it's specifically you, but it's not specifically for you. It's specifically for the crimes that you're doing. Boy, that's a 7 hour. Yeah, see the difference between it being specifically for you versus specifically for the crimes that's being done in America. See, you see what I'm saying? You see where we at? Where people are so biased that they won't talk about kids' heads getting blowed off. You won't see no rallies. But they'll say when you want to do something about crimes that you know mostly black people are doing, that you're doing it because you're profiling black people. You're sensitive about that, but you're not sensitive about the problem. And this is the difference between me and Donald Trump. You can't do what I do. You can't do it. Unfortunately, maybe because you're white. And this is no disrespect. A black man can do something that the white man can't do in America. Oh boy, you don't want to hear that, do you? You don't want to hear that? Listen, you can't talk like that, can you, Donald Trump? You can't talk like that because listen, you ain't gonna get the job done like that, buddy. It's something I can do that you can't do. Huh? You can't do that. Listen, man, ain't no way in the world you can sit up and say what I just said. And when they see my color, they know it's not coming from a malicious place. They know that. Obviously not. Obviously not. And they see that I'm a Christian, they know it's not coming from a malicious place. When they see I'm a prophet of God, they know it's not coming from a malicious place. It's coming from talking about the woes and the problems that's bringing judgment on us. That's where it's coming from. That's where it's coming from. Okay? And it ain't no way in the world you're going to change it handing out 10, 15 years and up for parole at 7 years. That, you know what that means to me? And I got to do a video about this. Parole means you only did that. You didn't do your full sentence for what you did. That's basically what it means. You just did 7 years for busting somebody in the head. Busting somebody in the head to the white meat, and you only get 7 years. Taking a bat and busting somebody's head to the white meat, you only got 7 years for it. So that's all you got for the crime. This is why I believe in giving 20 years without a chance of parole. We make you do the whole thing. And the nature of your crime, that's how much time you should be doing. And it also sets the crime, it also psychologically sets the perspective in the crime underworld of what you can't do. In other words, it influences the crime mentality. When you hand out 20 years, you influence what is happening in your world. Boy, that's a 7th hour. You're influencing what happens in your world and how all this crime that's happening when you start handing out 20 years. You ain't influencing what happens out here, handing out 15 years and giving people a chance of parole at 7. Man, come on, you ain't affecting nothing like that. Unfortunately, in the world where there's full of crime, in the country where there's full of crime, you have to up the punishment. Listen, man, they pushing people on trains like it's a game now. That's what I'm saying. They pushing people on trains now, man. Nah, bro. It's time to up the punishment. When people get goofy enough to push innocent people into their death on trains. That's too goofy. And the only way you're going to change that goofiness is that you up the severe punishment. You give severe punishment. The only way you're going to change crime in America is to give severe punishment. These goofy people are not going to change on their own. I can't stand that song. Waiting on the world to change. I can't stand that song. You don't hold your breath waiting on the world to change. It sounds like a song meant for a telethon, don't it? Ow. You say that, look, when all the celebrities come together, waiting on the world to change. Right or wrong? You waiting on the world to change. No, it doesn't work like that, buddy. You know how it works? You up the severe punishment and the world will change, buddy. I guarantee you that. Well, ain't no idiot gonna get 20 years on some reckless foolishness. Nobody's going to prison for 20 years, bro. At the drop of a hat, especially these ex-felons and ex-convicts. They're not going to jail for 20 years, bro. That's all of your youth. If you go in there at 20, you coming out 40. All your 20s and 30s is gone. And if you're 40 and you go in there, the last 20 years you got to really be intimate with your wife is gone. You coming out at 60. You taking Viagra now. If you go in at 20, you miss all your youth. Right or wrong? 20's gone, 40's, 30's gone. That's it. It's over. I have enjoyed my youth. I've been all around the country. I ain't just talking about sexually. I've been all around the country. I've enjoyed my youth. If you go in prison at 20 years old, your life is over, bro. If you go in there at 40, the rest of what you have left is over. Okay? That's how this rolls, bro. And I guarantee you, based on that, when they realize how much time they're going to do and how much time is going to go by with no chance of parole, I guarantee you they will make better decisions. This is real correction. This is how you really correct the streets. And America has been docile about it, and you've been a sucker, a punk about it for too long. And I'm going to tell you what's been doing it. You worried about what black people think. That's what it is. What else is it? If it was white people doing this stuff, you would have been all over it. Oh boy, that's a 7th hour. And guess what? Black people would have been over it. Would have been on it too. Oh, and white people doing all this killing, all these black politicians be talking about it. Man, we need to change something about this. We need to get more punishment. You wouldn't be saying that? Man, come on, stop playing. I'm telling you with reasons. I'm telling you, what else is it? If it was any other ethnicity, if it was even Mexicans coming here doing killing like that, y'all would have nipped that in the bud. If Mexicans was coming here blowing people's heads off and kids' heads off, you would have upped the crime, you would have upped the severe punishment, wouldn't you? Because it would have been off black people as a stereotype towards black people. I'm telling you what's holding it back. It's that part. And listen, man, the bottom line is this, man. You can love each other all you want. You can love black people as a black person all you want. But your kids are not safe until this crime, severe punishment is issued to the whole country. Until that time's happened, your kids is not safe, man. That's all I'm saying, man. And you can love them all day long, and they'll be the ones that blow your kids' heads off. Listen, I'm being specific. I'm not racist. I'm being specific. It's the truth. And we have to do, this is why I do videos on this. There's a difference between being specific and racist. Okay? It's a difference. If you're doing it, how am I being racist? Man, come on, man. And this is the only reason, listen, this is what's holding it all back. If you gave 20 years, I guarantee you everything will change. And see, this is the difference between me and Donald Trump. Is he talking about anything like that? Huh? He ain't talking nothing like that, is he? He ain't talking about nothing, is he? That's what I'm trying to show you. It ain't no plans, specific plans he can point to change your country. And the biggest thing is violence and all this gun stuff going on. All this killing. That kid, what's his name? Audrey. If he would have lived, he should have got 20 years or better. I would put his tail in jail for 20 years. That's what I would have did. And listen, if 20 years would have already been in the law system, I guarantee you wouldn't have did it. Unless, like I said, he was suicidal and just going on a suicidal mission, which he might have was. How you gonna get away from that? How you gonna go? Where you gonna go from that? You know they're gonna catch you. That was a suicide mission. That was a coward mission. Instead of taking his own life, he wanted to take some people with him and let somebody else kill him. That's what it was. He ain't had the balls to kill himself. No pun intended, Al. I couldn't resist that one. But the bottom line is this, man. The bottom line is this. You are not going to change this country if you do not take this severe punishment up. And Donald Trump ain't showing you nothing. What he's showing you? What is he showing you? Sitting up there running like a crazy person, still trying to run for office. I mean, man, hang it up, man. You're washed up, bro. Here you go. You got 30 counts of business fraud. You got an indictment. You're the first president that has an indictment. Come on, man. You're washed up, man. That's what it is. That's what it's called in our world. Washed up. Ow. Wipe out. No, you know that song. You come from that era. Wipe out. Wipe out. You wiped out, bruh. Stop playing. Got an indictment. You the first president. Got an indictment. You should bow out gracefully. Won't you save your country some shame? Won't you save your country some dignity? Huh? Man, listen, man. Come on, man. That's a joke, man. Won't you, if you love your country, won't you save your country some dignity? That's real. Wipe out. Okay. That's what it's called, buddy, in your case. And I got real solutions. I got more. I just don't got the time to share them all in one video. I got more solutions. All the wirings that you need for change. Okay? Because I guarantee you, like I said, you put 20 years on in the law system for senseless crimes like pushing people on trains. We don't need to see them. Why? Why do we need to see them out here in the public? What for? Send you away, man. Make you sit down. You should be alive for what you did. Let alone getting 20 years. And you ain't, see, that's what I'm saying. You always having pity on people. I don't have pity on nobody who don't act human. Okay? If, like I said before, if your quality is low as a human being, if your quality is low as a person, your integrity, your humanity is not considered. Do you consider the human rights of a person that push people on trains? You consider them their human rights. I do not. I don't care about their human rights. They've denied themselves of their human rights because they are a extremely low quality individual to push somebody on trains, man, for sport. Look at that one guy, man, that one black guy that pushed that Asian woman on the train. She was helping homeless people to sleep in the subway in the wintertime to keep them out the cold. And me being homeless in New York, I know what it's like to be in the subway and ride the subway back and forth all night long. That's how you know I've been in New York. I know what it's like to be homeless and you riding that train back and forth all night long. Subject to anybody doing anything to you. You dead asleep. Just as vulnerable as they come. And she voucher for people to, this woman that got pushed on a train by a homeless man, specifically, right? She was vouchering for homeless people to be able to sleep in the subway, man. That means at the station in the little chairs and things. Some homeless people do that too. And some people ride the train all night long. I've done both. I've sat out in the chairs in the stations all night. I've slept on the concrete in the back at the stations, all the way back on the concrete with my covers and everything. To the point where the police had to come. Somebody complained when they thought I was dead, I guess. You know what I mean? And this woman vouchered. She vouchered for homeless people to be in the subway stations at night to be out the cold, man. And that man, look, I guarantee you he ain't know that. That's why you can't judge a book by its cover. That's why you can't just hurt people. His karma is, that man probably going to hell. I'm telling you. He's probably going. He's probably suffering so bad. But do you consider his humanity? That's my question. Do you care about his human rights? Or do you want to see him die? Well, he took a life. He had a senseless crime of pushing that woman on a train. You don't want to see him die? So you just want him to live. You want him to come back out here and eat sandwiches on patios in front of you. You want to see him eating club sandwiches and patios in front of you. You can't be serious, man. That person's face shouldn't be seen for 20 years. That's a perfect example. His face shouldn't be seen for 20 years. And that's what, and listen, these politicians ain't doing it like this, man. That's the problem, man. That's the problem. Because listen, a criminal don't do, I don't condone thug life, but there's some criminals, man, they don't do senseless foolishness. So it's not against criminals, it's against the crimes. These senseless crimes, man. It's gotta be 20 years for that, man. It's gotta be, man. You pushing people on trains that's vouchering for you to be where you are. You're in the shelter, in the subway as a homeless man. I'm pretty sure you've been there all night. I'm pretty sure you're musty and funky from the other night and laying in the subway. And this woman vouchers for you. She comes down like an angel. You didn't even know. She probably was praying for you. She probably was meant to come around you and pray for you, and you pushed her on the train. You deserve 20 years, man. That's what I'm saying. And it was a female, and you a man. It's one, I ain't condoning it, but a man and a man could have had an altercation or something. A woman, you pushing a woman on a train, man. Nah, bro. Nah. I would give him 20 years with no chance of parole. And if you don't do that, listen, I'm telling you, as a country, you're not going to be able to adapt. You're not going to be able to, man. Listen, you're not going to be able to adapt, man. Because you're sympathizing with the idiots. And your country has too much crime in it. It's too tough here for these weak laws, man. New York is a city. It's too tough for them weak laws you got going. You gotta have 20 years with no chance of parole, and I guarantee you clean up all 5 boroughs of New York City, man. I guarantee you'll clean up overnight all 5 boroughs. You tell them 20 years, you do that. You do that, sucker, you getting 20 years. Ow. Who gonna do that? Who is going to do that? Man, you'll be making sure you don't do nothing. That's what you'll be doing. Oh, I don't want to go to jail for 20 years, boy. I'm gonna make sure I ain't doing nothing. Man, you'll clean this country up overnight. That's what I'm trying to show you. You have to up the severe punishment. If you don't do this, listen, it ain't gonna change, man. I don't care what you're doing. You could be waiting on the world to change, and if you hold your breath, you're gonna suffocate. You're gonna die and suffocate if you hold your breath. I'm telling you that. 20 years, as soon as that is installed, 20 years of severe punishment with no chance of parole, as soon as that law is passed, you can exhale right then, buddy. I can tell you right now, listen, if you was holding your breath, you can exhale right then. Because ain't nobody, especially real criminals, they're not going to jail for no 20 years, bro. With no chance of parole, it's not going to happen. And it's understandable, even by criminal standard. People pushing people on trains, homeless, funky. I don't want to be saying homeless, funky people, but this guy's funky and all around and everything. You know what I'm saying? He in the subway, this woman fresh for work. You feel me? She fresh for work. And this bastard pushes this woman on the train and kills her, bruh. Man, listen, by criminal standard, what if that was your sister, man? I don't care. Listen, if you're a thug, a gangster, a savage, what if that was your sister got pushed on a train, man? What you want done? What you want done? Oh, I know you want him dead. But if the law got him, though, and you can't kill him, and you can't make it happen, listen, what you want done? 5 years? 10 years and then 7 years for parole? 15 years and he get out in 7 years? So your sister's life is worth 7 years. Just like that, man. And life goes on. He's back out eating club sandwiches on the patio down in Lower Manhattan. You think that's good? That's how it should be? If that was your sister, you want him dead, first of all. Second of all, if the law got him, you would want what I'm talking about, 20 years with no chance of parole. If you 50 years, you getting out when you 70, if your health allows you to make it out. In his case, this guy was what, 50 to 60? The man that pushed on the train was 60. We give him 20 years, that's over. Ow, might as well be dead. Giving him 20, he getting out when he 80. If his health allows him to. And that's just. That's how it should be. See, you want kings and queens, but the real kings and queens that will be here in America will have to hit the ground running with severe punishment. Sure, ain't no way. What you gonna come and just politic and be some little happy little king and queen hanging around, going around shaking hands? No disrespect, but going around shaking hands in restaurants like Obama did. No disrespect to that, but I'm just saying, I'm painting a picture. You're going down in these restaurants eating club sandwiches on patios in Lower Manhattan with drinking a beer with the locals. Nah, that kind of politics ain't gonna get nothing done. 20 years. That's what a king or queen will have to do, a leader will have to do in your country. Listen, man, you're gonna look at it how you look at it. Like this the new Terminator, this pop. That's how y'all gonna look at it. This politician is a Terminator. He's giving out 20 years, no chance of parole. So what are these people that push people on trains? They ain't no Terminator. Like the original first Terminator movie where Sarah Connor was being chased around by Arnold Schwarzenegger, by the Terminator. Being chased around by Arnold Schwarzenegger. Sarah Connor. You remember her, how she was running around? What you would do to guys like that, man? That ain't the Terminator? Oh, so it's the politician that's the Terminator, but it's not these people that's going and chasing these people around. That's the Terminator. Like they chasing around Sarah Connor. This homeless man was like the Terminator, and the Asian one was like Sarah Connor. You remember the original Terminator? Sarah Connor. That's how it was. Man, I give that guy 20 years and wouldn't even think about it, man. And listen, man, we need masculine leadership. You play around. I ain't saying women can't do it, but a man knows what a man needs. You know what you need? You need 20 years. You know what you people need out there. You know what's gonna break you down. You know what's gonna break all that and testosterone, that arrogant testosterone, high on THC and all other kind of things. You know what's gonna break that down. I give you 20 years, buddy. I guarantee you. I don't care how high you are on high grade weed. I don't care how high you are. You're gonna think about them 20 years, buddy. You can be high as it comes on edibles and weed. I guarantee you 20 years, buddy, you ain't doing nothing. You gonna sit in that car and enjoy your high, ain't you? Hey, you gonna sit in that back seat and enjoy your high. Ow. I bet you will. I bet that's the only thing you'll be doing, going around enjoying highs. That's all. I don't condone it, but that's all you're doing. I'm stating the obvious. You're gonna be going around enjoying highs. That's what you're gonna be doing, buddy. Now you're walking around with testosterone, getting high, shooting people. Man, I sit that down with 20 years, no chance of parole, buddy. You can take it how you want to take it. That's the solution. And Donald Trump ain't offering that. That's what I'm trying to show you. All his supporters, what they offering. All the supporters, what is Donald Trump offering? What did he do in 4 years? What laws did he get? What laws did he imply or insinuate? What did he try to do? Huh? That's what I'm trying to show you, man. And he talking about make America great again. And he the first president getting indicted. That's a joke. That's a joke. You the first president in all history to get indicted and you talking about making America great again. Well, won't you try making yourself great again? First, won't you start with self and making yourself great in the first place? Ow. Won't you do that, buddy? And then you can possibly make America great again. Because great men do great things. But you're not great. Ow. Well, how are you great being indicted? The first president being indicted, buddy. Listen, man. You shouldn't be nowhere close to nothing like that. That's real talk. You shouldn't be nowhere close to nothing like that. Nothing like that should be close to happening to a man, a president of integrity. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be regal and have integrity and character. Like stuff is beneath you. And here you are being indicted and you got 30 counts of business fraud. Man, come on. You can't be serious. That stuff should be beneath you. You should be regal with integrity. But you know what you are? You're Americanized. That's what you are. You're Americanized like half of these people are. That's what's wrong with you. That's what's wrong with many of you. You're Americanized. That's your biggest problem. You got the culture and the mentality of the culture, because the culture is one big massive thought process. That's how they process us all to think the same so they protect themselves. Well, if you got millions of people, how you gonna stop them from killing you? The culture. How can you stop millions of people from just saying, hey, I don't know why, I just feel like killing all these politicians. What's going to stop somebody just saying, hey, I just give up. Let's just kill them all. What's going to stop somebody from just doing that? The culture. So what the culture is this big massive brain that everyone connects to and everyone thinks the same. So guess what they got to do? They start a culture and they put certain thought processes in this culture. And so everyone is docile, passive, and everything weak. You see what I'm saying? And you don't think about rising up and talking like I'm talking. You know why? Because you're connected to the culture that has made you docile and passive. That's what half of you Americans are going through, and you don't even know you're going through it. You can't put your finger on it, can you? Why you like testosterone? Why you like aggression? Huh? Why you like the need to talk about these problems? You can't put your finger on why you don't want to do it, do you? Can you? When you know I'm right and I'm refreshing, you can't understand why you can't be this way. You know why? Because you're connected to the culture. And they have to control you through the culture. Otherwise, you got millions of people that can do anything at any time. They ain't gonna tell you that, but put two and two together. Use common sense. If you have 333 million people here, they can do anything at any time. And if it's not just a matter of death and destruction, they could just continue to what if they just decide not to work? What if they decide to say, I don't want to work? That would destroy the whole country. If you all quit working, that would destroy the country. So guess what they have to do? It's not just a matter of you hurting them. They have to keep you working. So therefore, they have to put certain thought processes in the big brain that everyone thinks like. And that's why they keep us having phones and connected to the culture. Anybody that's unplugged from the culture is considered a threat, like me. It's because I'm unplugged from the culture. I think for myself. You don't. You think according to how they want you to think, so you'll stay passive and working. I'm not saying be unemployed and aggressive. Well, be aggressive, but you don't have to be unemployed and aggressive necessarily. But you can't be connected to this massive mentality that they have tailor-made for you. That's what it is, man. That's what it is. That's what I'm saying. And so, Donald Trump is not going to get reelected. The Electoral College is what's going to make sure this doesn't happen. Not if he has 30 counts of business fraud. He's facing an indictment now. It's no way they're going to let somebody that's facing an indictment get back in the White House. I'm telling you that right now.